It is Tuesday, June 21st. And last week I didn't have anything at all to share, so I just didn't make a video. And this week I have been working on a couple of things that I can talk about. My desk is a disaster at the moment. This is security envelopes. Sometimes you get bills in the mail, and if you look on the insides of the envelopes, they have some really neat patterns. That's what I showed you when I was making these little flowers. And I was going through some pages in, oh, what magazine was this? Now that I forgot. Stampington and Company. Let's look here. No, Somerset Studios was the magazine, now that I found the actual pages. And this particular person had used the security envelopes, as Michelle Ward wrote the article. They had used the security envelopes to do artwork. So here's a scene using the envelopes. It's like a cityscape. This one here is just the pieces glued on, in some kind of a random geometric fashion using squares and triangles, which is what I'm cutting mine out to be like at the moment. Here's different squares, triangles, and circles. Here's hexagons. Here's the hexagons in use. Some strips. This one's a really lovely actual scene done using the paper to make a landscape there with the trees and stuff. So lots of neat ideas. And I thought, since I'm kind of in a personal creative slump, I would just go with someone else's idea and see where I go. That happens to a lot of us sometimes. And we have Pinterest boards where we pin things that we enjoy and think look pretty that someone made, and sometimes it's a good idea just to literally copy that person's art until you start getting your groove back. And nothing wrong with that, as long as you give that person credit. If you're going to be sharing that with others, just give the person that credit, and just, it's fine. Don't feel bad if you feel like all you can do is copy someone, because the movement of the paper or the painting or the drawing or whatever it is that you're doing that they did that you're copying, helps trigger something in yourself and can spark an idea. So that's what we're working on. I've got all these little squares cut out over here so far. I don't know where my square punch ran off to, but I do know that my circle punch was being a problem, where when I would try to cut the circles out, it wouldn't actually cut all the way around. It would cause one part of it not to cut, and it would mess it up. So I decided to go with squares right now. I do have some circles somewhere. And then I also took some of those squares and cut them in half across the center to make some triangles. And of course, you're going to end up with some leftover bits, and not that there's not tons of security paper everywhere, but I kept the leftover bits from my trimmings as well. I thought, that little scene where she had the trees and stuff, I don't necessarily know if I would do that, but it might be a neat way of making some kind of an abstract something with that. And alright, we're going to have to work around my clippings here. See, it's a disaster. And that's okay, because I don't care that it's a disaster. The other thing I've been doing is coloring. And let me see if I can find the one I was working on. I think it's in here. Nope, I moved it. Alright, this one I've almost completed. I have a few spots here, as you could see, that still need a color. But, I've got bits of glittery and shiny stuff, and did the edge. I haven't decided what color I want to do the actual border yet. I might go with a shade of gray. I initially had started off doing some kind of pattern in each one, see the dots? But when I got, I did some swirly bits here, that got boring. So I just started, coloring them in with different colors. So this is that nice heavyweight paper. And none of the markers I used bled through. This right here is just where I was testing on the back. So there goes my dog. Then after that one, because I paused on that, I started this one. And so far it's mostly blue. You know, I do have a little bit of pink here, and then I started with the purple, blues and grays. So we're going along doing that one. That looks really cool. This would make a nice book cover. So once I get it all colored, we'll see. And as you can see, no bleed through. It's just, these little marks are just where I was testing a pen or something. So this Make Your Own Art Gallery Wall Art Patterns books by Lizzie D. If you run across one of these, I got mine at Ollie's. I think I mentioned this before. They also have a letters one. This has really nice paper in it. So you can use, in fact, this gray here, this was Spectrum Noir, which is just like a Copic, and I did that. See it right there in the background? No bleed through. So you could use your Copics and come through and do all kinds of neat fun blending with this, and it would come out fine. The other thing I was working on, as I mentioned a little bit previously, I was going through my Somerset Studios scrapbook here. I think I have it backwards actually. Is it backwards? Yeah, it's backwards. And I really haven't added a whole lot in here, but I was doing some trimming of pages that I had taken from the magazine so I could add them in. I did put that one in. But not much to show in there as of yet, so I'm not gonna do a flip. But that did some time there, and I think that's about it. I don't see anything else that I've been actually actively working on. I do need to make an ATC to send back out to Louise, I believe. If it's not you, Louise, sorry if I've forgotten. I know it's sitting right here, I just can't figure out the name right off the top of my head. But yeah, I do know I need to make a ATC to send out. And that's about it for this week. So I hope you're all having a great day, doing something creative. If not, like I said, don't feel bad. Copy someone's work. Just give them credit. Help get your creative juices flowing again, doing something someone else has done. And don't feel so bad about it. We all go through these periods of time when we just don't know what to do. Like for instance, here it's a bit hot, so I think the heat itself kind of stifles creativity sometimes. So you do what you got to do. If all you want to do is sit around and color, color. If you just want to doodle, doodle. If you want to go read a book instead, go read a book. Whatever it keeps you happy, that's what you should be doing. So take care, have a great week, and if you're not already a subscriber, you can hit that button down below. And there's a box underneath for other contact information for me. And please feel free to leave a comment or ask a question. Take care. Bye.